jumping right into it. I'm gonna swap out here.
You're gonna swap out.
I'll wait till next round.
We'll stay in for this round with us too, and then
we'll swap out for Cam.
We'll get Cam in here to get going for round 3. Looking at a decent opener for the mono red deck.
I mean, I'm snapping this off.
Yeah.
We can
hear Phil's music on the other
background music, a little smooth jazz. I don't know.
We want to throw him a message to tell him to mute his end. We're get some nice music in the background for this round. It looks like he figured it out and muted himself.
But yeah, it looks like no, hasn't muted himself. You should be able to go into the call and mute it, I think so.
Let's
once they're deciding. So he's probably trying to figure out how to mute now. That's who he's roping.
Phil Sam's noted old and wise, not too good with technology.
Well, he's old, so he just doesn't have much of a chance on the draw here. The goose, that's what you don't want to see.
This is the best start we can get out of the Simic food deck. So
we bolt this bird though, right?
Oh, we 100% bolt in this bird. You always got to cook the goose.
Yeah, I mean, you can't let that thing go against these Simic food decks, right? Not when they could ramp into an Oko, you know, and an Oko left early and often out of the food deck is going to be a big problem, right? They're just going to make a feast and eat.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and it's going to be real tough for mono red to come back out of when your opponent is ramping out a turn 2 Oko. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, but this is an okay start now. You know, Once Upon a Time isn't a big deal. You can run out 2 1-drops, double 1-drop. Now we're at and I like this play. You know, this is where you get to chip in for a point, but more importantly, having 2 creatures out on the board at this point for mono red means that you're going to be able to cast this light up the stage for its spectacle cost, which I think is probably PSAM's major concern here. I think he's not even going to think about this and just serve. You can't really risk, you know, missing your lands here because you have this experimental frenzy in your hand. So
yeah, so the question is, are you going to push in for that extra damage with that Rimrock Knight, or are you just going to hope to hit a land off your light up the stage?
Yeah, I think he's going to hope to run the perfects. So, I mean,
so PSAM's coming in for 2 damage here. And we're gonna see what he hits off this light up the stage.
Yeah. Really, you're just looking for land, right? This is all you want here. Yeah, I mean, it's
pretty good. You get to put this 3/1 out onto the board now, and you have a Slaying Fire lined up for the next turn.
Yeah, and we can answer something that's problematic, you know, this Wicked Wolf that might come down. Could be a Nissa, but either way, Slaying Fire sort of sets you up to be... So Questing Beast is actually okay for you. You don't mind at all here. You just take the 4, Slaying Fire it, and move on with your life, right?
Exactly, and you're going to be coming in for 5 damage, kind of forcing a block out of this Paradise Druid here.
Well, 6 even, right?
And with the pump on the Rimrock, right?
The spitter. Wow. Oh, wow.
Fervent Champion doing some work here.
Wow. Wow, Rimrock Knight. All right. No wonder he was really high on this card, but yeah, I figured this was a Nissa. So this is interesting because you're sort of constricted here on mana, but yeah, it's going to be tough to get the Nissa off the board. On the plus side, drawing this land is great. On the plus side, the Fervent Champion can attack no matter what kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, you get to attack no matter what, because if he can't block the first strike creature, you know, if you block the Knight, you just lose your creature.
Yeah, so he's going to throw his 3/3 in front of the Scorch Spitter. And I'm going to assume we're going to see a Bone Crusher Giant stomp that 3/3 out of the game. Or are we just trying to point all of these burn spells upstairs? We have a food on the other side of the board, so you're sitting at you're sitting at 13 technically, but
yeah,
looks like PSAM's is going to go towards the stomp on the 3/3.
Yeah, this is tough because that Nissa is just going to create a lot of problems. I think maybe you crack the food there, but it depends what's in your hand. But
if you can find a Wicked Wolf off this Once Upon a Time, it might be better to leave the food in play And you still have plenty of mana next turn to be able to crack the food since you have your Nissa.
Yeah, absolutely. This is tough. Yeah. Although, these Bone Crushers might be okay. Yeah, the problem is Nissa here just making a 3/3 every turn against your mono red deck is a bit of an issue, because you can start putting pressure on your opponent. I mean, Benson here can just start attacking PSAMs with 3/3s every turn, and as an aggro deck, you never want to block. Well, speaking of bannable cards.
Yeah, so this pairing of Nissa, who shakes the world, and Hydroid Crisis that we alluded to before the match, is coming in pretty clutch here, drawing Benson 3 cards, gaining him 3 life. And the mono red deck is stuck going upstairs, and we're going to try and have to push the rest of this damage through, and it's going to be an uphill battle for sure. We do have a Frenzy, which could lead to some pretty busted popping off here on PSAM's side, but you're still facing down a 6/6 and then a new 3/3 every single turn with this Nissa, and 3 new cards off the top.
Yeah, it's tough. You'd have to. I'm trying to think what the combination would have to be off of Experimental Frenzy for you to win. It involves the 2-drop. What's it called? That lets you Runaway Steamkin. You know, and you have to do something insane with Runaway Steamkin. Is the only way out of this game, I think. I'm no Smart expert. Never been much of a Smart guy. I love this attack.
This is a great attack. We have a Rimrock Knight, which is able to pump this thing up to a 3/1, and you also have the Slaying and Fire in hand. So you can combine those two to take out this 6/6, but then you're down essentially. You're 2-for-1ing yourself to get this 6/6 off the board and giving up that face damage.
Yeah, but you gotta, because it's just gonna kill you.
Yeah, I mean, you're stuck between a rock and a hard place here, because you got to get the 6/6 off the board. You're still facing down the Nissa, but you, as Phil Sams, you want to get these cards out of your hand, so next turn you can deploy your Frenzy, and hopefully the turn after that force through the rest of your damage.
Yeah. Maybe he's thinking about... I'm so curious about this now. Yeah.
We're going to the concede.
Yeah.
Maybe he was hoping for...
Top right, bud. Yeah. That was the line of, well, maybe they screw this up, and then never mind, it was top right. Oh, looks like we know how to sideboard pretty quickly here.
Yeah. Phil Sams bringing in the other 2 Tor brands. We're taking out the Frenzy. We're bringing in 2 Active Treason.
Yeah, get them with those 6/6 Hydroid Crisis, right?
Yeah.
They play a huge Crisis, you get them with it. I mean, I don't mind that. That's actually quite interesting. So
we're going to trim on the Skewer the Critics.
Yeah, I don't mind that too. You're not always guaranteed to connect with your creatures. Attacking against the food deck isn't always something you get the option to do, as we saw that game. We didn't really have the option for good attacks. I wonder about Tybalt. I think he's probably thinking about Tybalt, right? These are the sideboard options you have. Tybalt's actually interesting. I mean, the deck does gain a lot of life, right?
Yeah.
But as we saw that game, that's actually not what you lost to.
No, you lost to the Nissa, you lost the 3/3s, and you lost to the massive 6/6 in board. You lost to all the ramp coming out of the Simic food deck.
Yeah, even though we bolted the bird, cooked the goose, still just lost to this 6/6 Crisis, and it wasn't the 3 life. The 3 life actually certainly mattered, because perhaps there was a line where you can Slaying Fire face and then Bone Shocker face if they don't gain life and they don't have the food. So
the problem is, I'm not sure you can deploy all of those cards before you're taken down by the 3/3s and the 6/6, right?
Yeah, exactly. This is the problem with the mono red deck against food, is that it's tough for you, because you both have to push damage, kill dorks, but then life gain's an issue, and they can actually just aggro you back, right? This is the true mid-range strategy, though. They can play both games.
Pretty solid opener here for Phil Sams. We have a 1-drop, we have a shock, and we have the stomp. And being on the play allows you to deploy that stomp on a turn 1 goose if we see it on the other side of the board. So pretty good start here. Let's see what Benson can bring to the table on his turn 1.
Yeah, I mean, they probably have a goose.
We've got the goose. They've always got the goose.
Always got it, man. The deck, I feel like, is so much worse on the draw when it doesn't have goose, but they always have it. So, I mean, even if it dies here, I mean, the fact that you just made a food up for your turn 1 is already extremely good versus mono red.
I was going to say, that Bone Crusher Giant was a good card to stomp out this goose, but drawing light up the stage off the top here allows you to not only draw 2 cards, but also you still get to shock out the goose.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
pretty good draw off the top there for Phil Sams. We're facing down another goose.
Yep.
And now we're kind of in an awkward spot where you lose the Slang Fire, but you still get to play a 1-drop and stomp the goose. So we're still keeping Benson from ramping out any 4 drops, and we're getting in for some damage.
Yeah, it's awkward because we kind of want to draw Mountain, but we also need action.
Yeah,
because if they make if Benson just elects to make a 3/3 food here, though, we can Slang Fire that at least because we don't need the 4 damage from the Mountains.
Yeah,
which I think we do here. You Slang Fire it and attack Oko, but now we're already just in this huge problem where the Simic food deck seems like such a horrible matchup for mono red.
Yeah, I agree. Oko,
just watching this, it just seems like this isn't even close.
Yeah, I mean, not even just the life gain you get from the food, but Oko coming down as a must-answer planeswalker that has so much loyalty. You're never just gonna 1-for-1 that card. You're gonna have to throw away multiple cards to get that thing off the board. And as the mono red player, you need your cards to be either trading 1-for-1 or going face.
Yeah.
And having to throw away your cards to get this Oko off the board is not looking good.
Yeah, card is the fact that it just jumps up so much loyalty. That it pluses that it came down for 3 mana plus made a 3/3 and is at 5 loyalty is I think just absolutely egregious.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we've stopped the aggression completely.
I think he's hoping he bricks lands.
And yeah, we're gonna see what Benson can bring if he's throwing down. I mean, if we see a Wicked Wolf come down on the other side of the table, it's gonna be really tough for Phil Sams to get back in this. Tap land though.
That's a ray of hope.
You have a turn of reprieve
because if it's a Wicked Wolf there, this game is a one-sided stomp.
Mm-hmm. So
this will be close, yeah. But Oko just making a bunch of food here is even an issue, This card is.
Yeah, I mean the 3/3s outsize everything on Phil Sam's side of the board aside from the Bone Crusher Giant, and this Oko at 6 loyalty still is going to keep pumping out food every single turn, and you're going to have to slog through it as the mono red side, and you're stuck now essentially casting 1 card a turn.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, now we're in a spot too where the mana in our hand is super awkward. You
do get to get this Oko Thief of Crowns off the board now by combining this Rimrock Knight with the Bone Crusher Giant because Benson did not block with the Paradise Druid.
Yeah, so that helps.
This is huge for Phil Sams now. We had to throw away a Bone Crusher Giant and really only half of the Rimrock Knight and only half of the other Bone Crusher Giant to get this thing off the board. So,
we only had to use everything we had. What did it cost?
I mean, it cost 2 halves, so we really traded 1-for-1, right? That's how this works.
Yeah. Well, okay, that's okay. You're actually not super behind on cards. The problem is you're getting smashed.
Yeah.
I mean, this might come down to just being an issue of you're going to take too much damage, right? The Scorch Spitter and the Fervent Champion just can't block this 3/3.
Mm-hmm.
You're just in a position where you don't really get to block effectively. I think you kind of have to hope the last cards in Benson's hands here are bricks, or you're just in huge trouble.
Yeah, I mean, you have these 2 Slaying Fires in hands, so you do have an answer for this Questing Beast. Phil Sams electing to go towards a 4/3 to just straight up block it. You can't attack though because this Questing Beast, of all the text it has on the card, it has Vigilance as well. So you're stuck just staring across the board again. And, holding the Fervent Champion back means that the Paradise Druid can't attack in freely. But, I mean, if Benson comes now with, a Questing Wolf, a Wicked Wolf off the top, maybe another Nissa.
I was going to say, Lord forbid a Nissa. So it's over. Yeah. This food deck is looking absurd.
It is very, very powerful.
So 2 rounds in a row now, we've sort of watched it. Mm-hmm. Next round we should look for hopefully somebody isn't playing it, but this deck has just looked absurd. In coverage in the MC this weekend, watching it also was nuts.
Oko coming down on the other side of the table, spelling a lot of more problems for PSAMs here.
Yeah, I mean, just look at the value you've just created over this course of this game through sort of just Oko, right? Like, as the red player, I'd be so frustrated as PSAMs just, we lost to Oko.
Yeah.
Nothing else. Nothing else mattered. They played Goose, we killed it. They played Goose, we killed it. They played an Oko, we lost.
Yeah.
That was the game. And, I would just be so frustrated. You know, this card, Oko, is just an insane card. It's absolutely absurd.
Yeah, Benson sitting at 17 life still. We haven't really been able to get aggressive at this entire game just because of that one Planeswalker on the other side of the board. You know, throwing away multiple cards to get the first copy off, and then the second copy. I don't know how you get out of this now. You've sideboarded out the experimental frenzy, so you don't have draws to, you know, cast multiple cards off the top each turn. So
yeah, I mean, it makes sense though, because, you know, from a game plan perspective, you're not beating their late game. You know, even with experimental frenzy, I don't know if you're beating their late game. I mean, I've seen experimental frenzy do some things. You know, I've seen that card get some people. It is a card that sometimes can beat a Krasis, but I don't think you can bank on it. You know, you end up in game one where you had it in your hand and you just died.
Yeah.
Because the thing is with this food deck with Oko is it actually turns the corner incredibly fast. It turns around and just starts attacking you so quickly.
Yeah, and I mean, here we are again. The no block with the Paradise Druid allows Phil Sams to get that Oko off the board with just the Slaying Fire. So
I think, maybe there is a consideration there, hey, to block.
Yeah,
because I mean, do you need your Paradise Druid at this point? Is it really?
You've already hit 5 mana at that point. I think it's fine to trade one for one there. But I mean, Benson electing to let the Oko go and then work. I guess if you have the Questing Beast lined up, then that play makes a lot more sense. And we have Benson taking down round 2 of the Disorganized Wizards Club Organizational.
So that's 2-0 for Simic Food on the day. Yeah, deck.
That Simic Food deck looking pretty good.
Pretty good. It makes up the majority of the decks in the meta for our tournament as well.